Hey everybody, this is Toby at BatFlip Crazy. Trying something a little new today with a YouTube video. Got a question on Twitter about which SP5, somebody who's currently an SP5 going really late in drafts, who I think might be able to be the ace of their major league staff next year. So a guy like Austin Voth, who I like a lot, you know, he's a great pitcher. I think he's going to do really well this year. But he's got Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg in front of him. So he's not a guy that I'm looking at to answer this question. So I'm looking at a guy who's towards the back end of the rotation, who I think can jump up and be that SP1 for his team next year. And the guy that I am most interested in is Eric Lauer of the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, what really intrigues me about Lauer is last year, towards the end of the year, in his last 3 starts, he saw a significant increase in his velocity, up to an average of 93 miles per hour on his 4-seam fastball. And along with that increase in velocity also came an increase in swinging strike rate up to 13% and a strikeout rate above 30%. Now, it's a small sample, but with guys who are going, you know, that late in drafts, he's at an ADP beyond 500 right now. Guys going that late who are towards the back end of the staff, we're really looking for a glimmer of hope, some reason to believe that they might be able to take that next step. And I think with Lauer, it is that velocity increase. We saw that velocity hold up this spring, and we also saw an actual increase, a slight increase potentially in his spring training velocity up to 93, 94 is what it was reported that he was averaging. He pitched really well during spring training until he hurt his shoulder. But 9 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, only 1 earned run, only 1 walk. So a 9-to-1 K to walk ratio in only 5 1/3 innings is really good. We've seen how the Brewers in the past have been able to turn questionable arms into or get the best out of questionable arms. And so Lauer might be the guy who can kind of take that next step this year. And so I'm really hopeful about Lauer. As long as that shoulder is doing well, I think he could be a really, really good steal later on in ADP. Some other guys that I like moving forward, Drew Smyly is a guy on the Giants who started to show some really strong signs, or at least good signs toward the end of last year. A pitch mix change, velocity increase, to be a little bit more like that guy that was so intriguing a few years ago before Tommy John surgery. He's also a fly ball pitcher, so going to Oracle Park, pitching for the Giants, is an ideal scenario for him. And then the other guy is Trent Thornton on the Blue Jays. He really pitched well down the stretch last year. The strikeouts aren't, the strikeout stuff is not as intriguing as some of the other guys. You know, a guy like maybe a Lauer or even a Smyly, but you know, he pitched really well. He was going up against really tough competition down the stretch, the Yankees a couple times, and he did really well. He introduced a knuckle curveball, started throwing that more, and improved. And so he's another guy I think can take a good step. Obviously, being in the AL East isn't ideal, but those are 3 guys I think might be able to take that next step. I think but I think Lauer among those guys going later on in drafts, right? Like not like 300, 400 even, like an ADP even beyond that. Those are kind of the 3 guys that I think could take that massive step from the back end of the rotation to be SP1s. Hope you've enjoyed this YouTube video. If you have, definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have like 70 subscribers, something like that right now. When I get up to 100, I actually get to name the channel, so it can be YouTube, BatFlip Crazy YouTube channel. So I'd be super appreciative if you were to subscribe. If you like the video, let me know. I hope to be doing a lot more of them in the future.